Hi Laura, how are you?
I'm good, Angélica.
So this one is going to be a different one. You're
Yes.
going to be interviewing people in your podcast, and
Yes.
today I get the privilege to be the one interviewing you.
Yes, thank you.
I'm so curious about how you started this Love Approach project, and I'm having this opportunity today to talk to you about what it was that started it all, and learning a little bit about you and your story and your expertise and everything that you're bringing with this podcast to everyone. So it's so interesting, and I'm forever so grateful to have met you and to learn everything that you do for humanity in general.
Thank you. Thanks, Angélica.
So if we can get to the point, and I'm not gonna talk about me too much. I'm a business coach, and this is what I do. I've been working with you for a while, but I want to put the focus on you. You're gonna be the source of information for many people, and hopefully, this is gonna be a door to open a new experience for a lot of people that are looking for healing and to find harmony in their lives. So, without further ado, let us know about how a little bit about you and where you come from. What's the story behind it all?
Lovely. Thanks, Angélica. I'm so happy to be interviewed by you. So, okay, well, let's start with my name. I'm Laura Gutiérrez. I am an energy healer and a health coach, and I am the founder of the Love Approach project. And you asked me how everything started, right?
So who was Laura before everything started? Like, where are you in your journey before this starts?
Yeah, well, so back in 2010, I started suffering from severe anxiety and panic attacks. And back then, it looked like the worst thing that could happen, right? Because it was very debilitating. But as I see it now, it was the best thing that could happen to me because it led me to where I am today. So back then, when I was suffering from all of this, I really hit a wall when I went to the ER for the third time.
Wow.
And yeah, it was scary actually. And the thing is that back then the doctors couldn't find anything wrong with me. And one of them at the end said to me, "You have nothing. There's nothing wrong with you. We're gonna send you to the psychiatrist." And that for me was like the switch that turned on. That was for me. That was the moment in which everything changed for me because I realized that if I didn't find an alternative solution, I was going to be medicated. And I knew the consequences of that because I knew people who had been medicated for anxiety and depression and all of this.
Yeah. Wow. And it's such a turning point in terms of like which way you go, and it's a little bit of a guessing game sometimes for doctors too. Well, we can't find any physically wrong with you, so go and you're just kind of a little bit kind of half crazy. Go and take antidepressants, and you'll be fine.
Yes.
And so, so from that point where they say, okay, so go see a psychiatrist, to not do it. What happened? What was it that made you go that way?
Well, I first really wanted to find out what was going on with me. I knew that there had been a lot of stress in my life for many years, a lot of stress and untreated emotions, and I had the hint, like that nudge that it had to do something with that. So by chance, actually one day I bumped into the granddaughter of who had been the homeopath that I visited when I was a child. And she had become a Reiki practitioner, and she was working with flower essences and a few different modalities of vibrational healing. And I told her what was going on, and she asked me, "Would you be open to giving Reiki a try?" And I was like, "Whatever works, right?" So I went for it.
Sure.
Yes.
Like
yes.
it's crazy or Reiki, let's go for Reiki.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I started receiving Reiki treatments, and I committed to a very kind of like a very dedicated plan. So I was going to see her 3 times a week. Plus, I was doing all my inner work. So I was releasing a lot of unforgiveness. I was doing a lot of work on loving myself again and really being compassionate again to myself. And all of this helped immensely. I mean, after 3 months, my life had already changed.
Wow, 3 months.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting how you're going from, you know, mainstream medicine into more of an alternative sort of um, way to see things like health, and
Yeah.
also to finding solutions for it. And so you get treatment, and then what happens?
So after I start my treatments and I started seeing results straight away, like from day one, I noticed a difference. I felt different. I thought, okay, there's something more here, and I want to learn it, and I want to know how do you do this, right?
Yeah.
And plus, there has always been something within me that has been calling me to serve others, and I thought, okay, this could be a path. I didn't know back then, but all I decided to do was to go and certify myself as a Reiki practitioner.
Okay, interesting.
Yes.
So, so you become a Reiki practitioner.
Yes.
So by this stage, you know how to do the thing that killed you.
Exactly. Yes.
And then what happens?
So after that, I come to Australia, and I realized that in Australia, oh my goodness, this is a land where you can find amazing teachers, and there's so much knowledge and wisdom around vibrational healing here. So I found awesome teachers here, and I continued studying. I continued going deeper into this. That was fascinating for me now, But beyond that, what I realized was that, this was a way that I was helping myself, and it was time for me to share this with others. And back in Colombia, when I was going through my healing process, I had actually I had started practicing Kung Fu, and my Kung Fu teacher kept saying something to us that was, you are a teacher of what you have already learned, and a pupil or a student of what there is still to be learned.
Yeah.
And that sentence, that phrase just kept appearing in my head, and I thought, okay, it's time to share what I am already a master in, what I have already mastered and practiced. And so I decided to start inviting people into my home and created a group. And the idea was that we were going to find how to recover our harmony. Back then, I knew what it was going to be through chatting about vibrational healing, about chatting about mindfulness and awareness and self-love. Plus, I was really motivated and inspired by having listened to the whole Hay House World Summit that year, which I was like, I found it awesome, and with so much wisdom that we could apply. So I did this at home, and this is where the Love Approach project starts. It's from there.
That's quite interesting how motivated you were to actually go to the extent of not only bringing what you had already learned in Colombia, but also, there's no coincidence though that you find all this wisdom. In this side of the world, we have a lot of influence from all the Eastern cultures and knowledge, and there's so many things we can learn here that are not really available anywhere else in the world. And so you learn all of these, and you start. Was it like at home, as in bringing people in? And
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes. So I was inviting people. What I was doing was that I was setting a topic I was running this group every 2 weeks, and I was very interested in both the physical part and the emotional, spiritual, mental part. So I was always sharing something healthy to eat, something perhaps without gluten or without sugar, and I was kind of like bringing a little bit of awareness to that. But I was also setting a topic. So, for example, one day it was compassion for the self, let's say, and I would write an invitation and invite people to come over, and I started a meetup group as well back then. I don't have it anymore, but back then it was a way in which I invited people through. And then it grew into something different.
Wow.
So, from the group at home, I now run groups and workshops and programs, both live and online.
Wow. And you seem to be a little bit of a local celebrity here in Boston. Everyone seems to know about you in some way or another. And it's through running all these workshops that you've been running locally, but also how you're extending it with your online courses and your online groups. I've been fortunate to witness all these sort of different workshops that you run and all the solutions you bring through your ideas of harmony. So what's that? Because I've learned a little bit of that harmony. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is about?
Yes, well, I truly believe that in order for us to be healthy and to feel healthy and to reach our full potential, we really need to find that unique formula of harmony that we all have. And it's unique because it's different for each one of us, right? But it's the harmony between our mental, the emotional, spiritual, and physical aspects of our human experience.
Okay, that's interesting. So, can you give us some examples on how that formula might be different to different people?
Yeah, so for example, for some people, they might need to spend more time, let's say, in their physical aspects, right? So perhaps they need to work a little bit more on their nutrition or exercise, right? So for some people, that wouldn't be harmonious to spend time exercising or paying a crazy attention to what they eat, you know. But some people need it, and for some other people, and I put myself into this category, we need a little bit more time in our spiritual aspects, in our spirituality, in our connection to the whole. So for me, for example, ritual is super important. I need to have a space, you know, that helps me connect.
Yeah.
But then this is different for everybody, and it's in finding that formula that we come back to us and to feeling and being healthy.
Yeah. Wow. It's interesting, and it's certainly something to think about because it seems there's like different areas in life that seem to be okay, so you don't need to pay too much like extra attention.
Yeah.
But we all have that area of life that we haven't probably looked at. So. Yeah, okay. So harmony is about what with those four areas?
Harmony is about, well, just being whole, you know, and experiencing our whole being in a way that feels right for us. Right? It's about that really, and this is what I love about this work, and it's just that we cannot really give the same solution applied in the same way for everybody. We need to find it, and through the work that I do, that's what I aim for, so that we all find that very unique formula.
That's so interesting, and fishing that a little bit with some of the work that I do. I like the way you are saying harmony is about because it's our own formula, and as we grow up, we have so many things that condition us to understand that is the formula that should be.
Yes.
So to say like you should focus on money or more on those areas more than others, and it brings my attention to so there's a right way, but it's not one formula for everyone. It's your unique formula for love. Is it love or what is it?
Yes, your unique. Well, at the end of the day, it's love, right? Love is the whole, love is the everything. But let's say right now it's that unique formula for finding you and for finding your health back again. Yeah. Like harmony, I would equate it to love because love is completely harmonious. And love harmonizes everything. So when you find that love in everything that you are in complete harmony.
And now I'm finding another dimension. So when you talk about health, is it health? Because my first thought was physical health.
Yeah.
So you're not talking only about physical health.
No. Yeah. Well, I think this was something that what I went through helped me see that the fact that I had not taken care of my emotions and the stress levels that I was going through, I wasn't paying attention to all of that. In fact, I was numbing everything with alcohol and partying. And so that helped me see that I was more than just a body. Plus, I had always had a spiritual awareness that showed me always that I was more than just my body. Yeah. So
physical awareness and health.
Yes, exactly. So it's not just about the body. The body, as I see, when we start experiencing illness in our physical body, I see it as mainly as the representation of what's going on a mental, emotional, and spiritual level as well.
Wow, that's interesting. That comes also from, I've heard that from Louise Hay.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
She was like the voice, you know, the person who brought that to everybody, to the world.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And so, tell me a little bit about what sort of results have you seen in people that you've worked with?
Well, I would say that the first one that I have seen and that I always see, especially after either a group session or a one-on-one session, is an immediate shift in how they're perceiving the situation that they're going through. Usually it comes with first experiencing relaxation, and second, they have a different perspective of how to address what they're going through. If they are going through a physical illness, they realize that there are other aspects to look into. You know, or if they are going through something like anxiety or depression, they realize also that there are things perhaps that they haven't paid attention to and that it's time to look into. That it's scary, you know, it's freaking scary.
It is.
But that it's necessary if we want to experience a life in which we feel healthy, in harmony, and of course happy.
And so that's with the group sessions. Yeah, that's
both group or one-on-one sessions. Yeah.
How about you have a group that you've been working with, a community of the Relax, Receive and Heal, and it interests me what's been the journey for them, for the people in your groups.
Yeah. So I would say that for many of them it's been awesome to learn different ways in which they can find that harmony.
Yeah.
Because in the Relax, Receive and Heal group, what I do is that each week we have a different topic in which we touch on an aspect of our humanity. So mindfulness and awareness, emotional healing and health, physical healing and health, and spiritual awareness as well. And so each week I bring and we discuss and we work on a topic, and then in the end they have an exercise to do at home. And through this they realize whether that exercise resonates with them or not, whether it's something that would really help them bring themselves back to harmony or not. You know, so they are learning different tools, different methods, different ways, and they are putting together, you know, that piece, that puzzle, let's say, of their own harmony. But what I've seen with them is, first, they all have a different perspective on daily situations. So before, many of them, I could say that they were pretty stressed out, you know. So now they are aware that okay, they have the power of changing that, and they have a few different tools to work on that.
Yeah. Wow. So stress is one of the things that you're working on with them.
Yeah. Definitely. Stress, anxiety, and also a shift in perception around themselves, how they perceive themselves, and how they perceive the world around them. Because that creates the stress.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, definitely. Perception and mindset will create our reality. So
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And so, tell me a little bit more about this podcast. What is it? What can we expect? Because this is kind of the first one after you have already recorded some.
Yes.
So, if you can tell us a little bit about what to expect in the next few weeks, that would be fantastic.
Well, the aim with this podcast has been to bring different experts in different fields that can help us or give us tools and exercises and different ways in which we can regain harmony and release stress, and also come back to checking ourselves out and saying, where are we? Where am I in this thing called life? You know?
Yeah.
So I have so far interviewed someone who's an expert on yin yoga, someone who's an expert on voice and how to recover our power. And I also love to talk to people who are experts in terms of the physical body as well. So I love to talk to, I have spoken so far with a naturopath, a kinesiologist, and I have so many more experts in my list.
That'll be nice.
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to what's coming up and to learning more about the work that you're doing, and hopefully learn what people think about it.
Yes.
And see what they can learn and how their lives can shift.
Yeah.
As a result of this.
Oh, that excites me a lot. I'm very, very excited, and it's because I've been through a journey in which I know how important it is to have support, and how important it is to have someone that can show you a tool, even if it's just one, and then from there you can keep learning and keep researching and moving forward. So everything that I create has the intention of being of support and of being of help to others, people who perhaps went through a similar journey to mine, or people who are somewhere around there.
And it's crucial what you're just saying, because it's not, we can't do life alone. That's why we're like with people.
Yeah.
And so especially this growth part, we need to have someone next to us, or holding our hand, or being with us, so that we can see further, we can see beyond our own boundaries. So it's so nice to have you around, to hold people's hands and to show the path, and especially when you're saying that the path is not necessarily the same for everyone. It sounds like something very important and interesting. So
definitely. And I think that's also the big difference between holistic healing and perhaps allopathic healing. In holistic healing, we are looking at the whole. All of those aspects that are us. Including our external environment. And our internal environment. It's the fact that we're not just looking at one thing,
but the whole, everything.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and this has been great and exciting, and I look forward to listening to your podcast and keep watching your videos on Facebook and Instagram. You do keep it very interesting for all of us, so thank you. And hopefully we'll get to do a little bit of recap at some point.
Definitely, we have to. Yes, I love that.
And thank you so much for
you.
doing this initial interview and for creating this podcast.
Thank you, Angélica.
And thanks everyone who are watching
and listening.
Yeah, and listening. Yes, because we're recording a video at the same time. So check it out. Laura is an amazing health coach, and the message she brings is so different to what's out there, as well as important for all of us to be involved in this togetherness of awareness and consciousness around health, and how it matters that it's not only physical, but it's important to look at everything.
At everything.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angélica.
And I'll see you around.
Yes. Bye.